Hello spirits! Welcome to 7 Circles of Hell of 2D animation creation process by a person with almost zero animation skills and experience.
Okay.
You may ask, almost?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, I have some past sins.
Brother, what's that, brother?
Everybody does, okay? Now, let's forget about it. Without further dilly-dallying, let's go right to the animation process of the 3-second piece of art. For you, it will take 10 minutes. For me, it took eternity. As a lazy human being, I tried to simplify the drawing process. I used the MagicPoser app to set up a 3D model in desired poses, then imported them into Procreate app for tracing. It's a handy trick if you're short on time or drawing skills. Repeatedly tweaking one drawing using selection and transform tools is not a good idea if you want a dynamic action. I attempted this, and this is what I got. Though it obviously looked cringy.
The fact that I was able to create the first version of the animation raised my confidence and motivation to keep going.
For the next version of the animation, I applied the lessons learned from the first one. Each frame was drawn from scratch, resulting in 9 unique drawings. After finalizing the poses, I added the initial colors. One of my favorite parts of the whole animation process was drawing facial expressions. Though it doesn't change the fact that I had to bust my butt to finish this without gagging at the end result. As you noticed, our character is neither a pirate nor a cyclops, so it needed a pair of eyes and eyebrows for a whole 9 faces. And that was a challenge. Still, my least favorite part of the face drawing process was a mouth. For some reason, no matter what I did, it just wouldn't look right. Like, look at that.
What is that?
As a final touch, I polished the rough sketches, transforming them into clean, crisp, and beautiful ones. Oh gosh, the mouth and the pair of eyes, did I really think it was a challenge? Cause
The hair was a real nightmare.
in total I spent around 30 hours struggling on drawing the same hairstyle 9 times from different angles with all the details without a proper reference. And here I don't even consider colors and shading. At some point I thought that, bald is also an option, like Saitama is bald and still looks cool. The more stressful the process was going, the better this option seemed to me. But at the end, I stopped on this complex hairstyle. Why? Because we don't choose an easy way, come on. Oh, if you ask how I came up with the hairstyle, first I searched for some reference in Pinterest and then came up with 3 options. I asked my audience in Instagram to pick from them, and the winner you already know. Adding details to the hair was tougher than expected. Trying to envision it from different angles felt like solving a puzzle without all the pieces. The hair became the hardest part of the project yet, testing my patience like never before. After meticulously crafting almost all the aspects of the character, poses, facial expressions, hair, colors... Oh, thanks God, no shading and highlighting was done yet. I realized that I don't like the angle of the kick. So, I hit the reset button and started everything all over
Ladies and
again.
gentlemen, we got him.
Kidding, I'm kidding. It's just a joke. Or is it? Well, actually, partially. I added new frames with different poses and adjusted the existing ones. Ultimately, I ended up with 12 frames. What I might do to minimize or even to eliminate this issue is I could dig into a storyboard, keyframes, mid-frames fundamentals first, then gradually add details. While theoretically I knew these basics, I didn't apply them properly, which led to rework. So spirits, don't be like me! With the increased number of frames, I noticed another issue. The animation lost smoothness, as if it was ever smooth before. Turns out, having many frames doesn't ensure naturalness of movements. I had to remove some old mid-frames to improve it, ending up with just 9 frames again. Don't even want to calculate how much time I spent to all the rework. I might prevent this problem by studying the 12 principles of animation before starting anything. However, it seems I had to learn these principles through my own mistakes. The next day,
After my night marathon,
I added the final color base to the character. Though it looked decent, it definitely needed some shaping. Honestly, I'm very uneducated in terms of shades and highlights, so I lacked confidence in this area, just like in every other one. But as they say, fake it till you make it, and I began working on it. By the third frame, I realized that something was off. I needed some help for envisioning the shapes, so I turned to the MagicPoser app, where I positioned the light next to the 3D model and got the reference for one pose. Then I worked on shaping of the rest poses by myself, envisioning how light would interact with the surface in different poses and how the shape would look like from various angles. In some frames, I exaggerated the shades to provide a more dramatic effect to a particular moment. Well, I think the result is...
Not bad. Not bad at all.
But there is always a but that ruins everything. I noticed that it still lacks the desired smoothness. Not keen on redrawing frames for the third time, I had a light bulb moment. Motion blur. I implemented the motion blur for certain frames and body parts, and it noticeably enhanced the dynamics in the animation. As a background, I chose a cloudy sky because
it's very beautiful, fluffy, cozy, and makes me happy inside.
okay, the real reason is that I thought it would be easy peasy lemon squeezy to draw sky as a background, but of course it couldn't be that simple. Designing the movement of the clouds was complex, requiring careful consideration to achieve the desired smoothness, which, as you understood already, is my pain point. Overall, I was content with the animation, until I realized that the art I'd been working on for more than 65 hours lasted only 1 second. I decided to steal a classic move from anime creators to stretch the episode length, throwing in some filler shots. In my case, it's everything happening after the character's punch. Initially, I considered adding blood to the broken glass for realism, but then changed my mind, cause when have you ever seen a well-detailed filler shot? Exactly. I didn't want to deal with the complexities of fluid physics in the filler shots. For the third goddammit time, I reviewed the issue of animation smoothness, feeling there was still room for improvement. Perfectionism at its peak. Tough times call for tough decisions, so I improved it by reducing the animation's duration, which already was barely 3 seconds. Technically speaking, I raised the frame rate from 8 to 10 FPS. As a final touch, I added sunset-inspired gradient to each frame and completed the project. And voila, the result! Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content in the future. Thanks for watching. Bye!